Hey everybody, Tosan here, and I wanted to talk about things that we can do, or Blizzard can do, to make PvP great again. So, there's a big problem with PvP participation. Nobody denies that. It's the lowest participation in Arena, at least, and especially RBGs, that there has ever been. In fact, in WoD, they had so little participation in the 5v5 bracket that they actually just deleted the 5v5 Arena bracket. That's not because the bracket was bad, that's because participation was too low and there was no real competition going on there. But we're going to talk about what we can do to boost participation regardless of what caused the less participation in the first place. So, dueling. Legion has essentially killed dueling. Okay, now Legion has a lot of great things going on for it. I'm not going to pretend it's my favorite expansion, but it's definitely better than WoD, and there's some great things going on with it. So, I think one of the biggest problems with PvP is dueling sucks in Legion because item levels and legendaries and all that stuff is crazy, and duels are completely imbalanced and just hectic beyond belief. And people want to have real stable dueling scenarios. Now, I'm not a big fan of dueling. I did it a ton back in, Vanilla and Burning Crusade and all that, and I loved dueling back then. But as, every expansion went on, I became less and less interested with dueling. But it doesn't matter if I enjoy it or not. The point is I know a bajillion people that love dueling, and dueling is dead. I worked for Skill Cap for what, 5, maybe 6 years or something, and even though I didn't make a lot of dueling videos, I ended up making some, despite it not being one of my favorite things to do, just because the requests for it, the demand for dueling videos and guides was huge. People love dueling. It's just a good way to kill time and practice your class a little bit, especially against other specific classes that you might have trouble with, in Arena. So, how to fix dueling. First of all, in Legion, there's still, for some reason, no dueling area that activates the PvP templates. So that is like a really minor thing that they could do, and that's been suggested time and time again. And that would be easy. I don't know why they haven't done it yet, but if Blizzard really cares about rejuvenating their PvP participation, which they should, they do seem like they care about PvP, by the way, because they've been doing a lot more tournaments, and they have been, broadcasting them way more frequently for the qualifiers and stuff like that, and they even, updated the UI. So clearly Blizzard cares about their PvP player base. So before anybody says, oh, it's a PvE game, nobody cares, that's bullshit. They clearly care. So I just think they don't have the right direction. So, dueling and spectating is something that I think they should look into. And I mean ASAP, too. Okay, so first of all, imagine you have a dueling template area where people can duel with the templates activated for a more balanced dueling scenario. That's great in itself. What if, though, we can emulate back what people used to do all the time? People used to hang out outside of Ironforge or Elwyn Forest or Orgrimmar to duel. And a lot of people just chilled out there just to watch the duels. They didn't even want to duel themselves, they just enjoyed spectating them. And because dueling is dead, the spectator part of that is dead, and that hurts PvP as a whole. Because, you need more PvP things to do, okay? So, a spectating Coliseum, if I may. So let's say the Coliseum they had in WoD, right, where you have the last man standing Coliseum. Imagine something like that where people can queue up to duel in instances. You can either do a random queue against anybody, you can maybe do a class queue or a spec queue, like you can specify it to like, I'm a rogue and I just want to duel rogues, or I'm a hunter and I just want to duel hunters. The details, you can get into that later about, if you want to divide it by specs or have the option to duel like BM versus BM only, although I don't think you'd get a lot of queues doing that. So maybe you could have it class restricted, or just queue up and say, I want to duel anybody. Or you could queue up with a friend that you want to duel and duel them specifically. But it wouldn't just be a dueling arena with the PvP templates that people already want badly, but other people can queue to spectate. Imagine if you're just bored and you just want to watch people duke it out in a Coliseum. You can just watch the duels one at a time. And I know this would probably be a little difficult for them to set up. This would be a little more time consuming than just making a dueling, zone. Being able to program it to where they can, spectate and maybe switch between matches. Let's say you're bored of watching Prot Warrior versus Prot Paladin. You can say, skip this. There'd be like an interface where you can go, next match please, this is boring as shit. And maybe you could do that. I feel like it wouldn't take that much time, and I feel like the investment would be worth it for Blizzard. Maybe they'll disagree, but I really think that that would be a big boon for the PvP player base. So, that is the first idea, and I really think that they should consider that, because people love dueling. They just love it, and people love watching duels, That would just get people invigorated for PvP. Next would be the solo queue ranked arena. I made a big thread about this on the Arena forums, the official Blizzard Arena forums, and it got a fuck ton of upvotes. and people clearly like it, and I wasn't the first one to think of it either, obviously. There's been a lot of people that have been advocating for that for a long time. My boy Savix, the Red Paladin, he's really been advocating for the solo queue system, so keep fighting the good fight, Savix. But anyway, how would this work? First of all, let's debunk some stupid arguments, because in that thread that I made, there was a lot of really stupid arguments speaking against the solo queue system. First argument would be, oh, it's going to kill participation in ranked 3v3. What? It's already dead. Have you seen the title cutoffs for this season? Participation in team-formed, like pre-made team 3v3 or 2v2 arena is at an all-time record low, like by a long shot too. You can just tell by the percentages of titles that go out. You know, think about in Mists of Pandaria in any given season, something like 350 people got rank 1 titles, right? In Legion, it's like what, 60 maybe? Just do the math. It's a 0.1%. They didn't change the system for who gets titles. It's still 0.1% for rank 1 and 0.5% for Gladiator. And there's just way less people participating, so that percentage is going to naturally drop the given titles. So the whole, it's going to kill PvP participation. Are you kidding? It's on its last leg as it is, and it needs to be rejuvenated. So one of the biggest problems with PvP participation is I can't find fucking teammates. That's hard. Even for a multi-rank one like me, I still struggle to find really good teammates, believe it or not. And it's actually miserable. I go to looking for group a lot of the time, and looking for group works sometimes. You can occasionally find a diamond in the rough. The problem with looking for group is people lie. People are lying pieces of shit. I can't tell you how many people I have that linked a Gladiator title that they clearly bought from Blazing Boost or something, and that they're like 1500 level players, you know what I mean? There was this Mistweaver monk that I played with a long time ago on my stream when I was just doing looking for group on my Ellie Shaman. And yeah, we got this Gladiator, Gladiator Mistweaver monk, and he was really bad. And we kept playing with him because he was kind of funny and like, he was like innocent. He was like a young kid, probably like 14 or 15. It was kind of adorable, like how perplexed he was, like, wow, you guys did so much damage there. I'm like, no Glad level player just goes, wow, you guys did so much damage. It was innocent and he was young, but he lied about having a Glad title, okay? And that is one of the biggest problems with LFG, is you are trying to spend hours sometimes filtering to get people that match your level of experience. What's your experience? What season was that experience? Oh, you're 2200 in Cataclysm? Well, that's not quite the same as 2200 now, you know what I mean? So people lie and you get misinformation, and the only way to get matched up with teammates that are around your actual skill level is with a matchmaking system that Blizzard regulates, you know, because the ELO systems in all these games, they're pretty darn good. So if you had a solo queue system, you could queue up any time of day whenever you felt like. You would automatically get matched with, you know, if you're a DPS, you'd get matched with a healer and a DPS. And of course there would be some restrictions, maybe like some comps that are super overpowered or something on the ladder. Blizzard could use their data to make obscenely overpowered combinations not possible, and obscenely underpowered combinations also not possible. But that would be fucking easy because Blizzard can track that data, easily make adjustments as they go. But a ranked system is necessary because another stupid argument that people use, besides the, oh, it's going to kill participation. Oh, before I move on, actually, let me finish that thought. The whole kill participation thing is horseshit, because not only is the participation at an all-time low, but this would help you find teammates better than looking for group, because you would know how good they are because you just played with them or you just fought them at 2300 matchmaking rating, for instance. So if you are playing solo and you get up to 2200, for instance, all those people there also climbed their way to 2200. So even if, you know, maybe they're playing an OP class or whatever, maybe they got some lucky streaks and got a little higher than they deserve, it's still going to be a general good ballpark system to determine the skill level of these players. And that way you can whisper them, hey, I got you on my, I got you on my team a few times in solo queue. Do you want to add me to B-Tag and we can go play ranked 3v3? You could do that. That'd be a better way to find teammates on par with yourself than the looking for group system where you have to filter through lying bullshitters and bought achievements. So, the other argument is that, oh, there's already a solo queue system and it's called skirmishes. Okay, skirmishes don't have matchmaking, which means one team usually just completely shit stomps the other one in 5 seconds and it's not fun at all. I've done skirmishes, like to gear out a character sometimes. If I was just farming skirmishes in WoD or even in Legion for whatever reason, you know, artifact power or something on a new character, usually if I'm queuing with a friend of mine that's decent at the game or really good at the game, I can win 30 out of 30 games in skirmishes because there's no matchmaking, which means there's no way to regulate it. And also, skirmishes have an incredibly low participation rate. Sometimes you sit in a skirmish queue for 4 or 5 minutes. So skirmishes are not a replacement for a real solo ranked queue system. A solo queue system means that any time of day, if you're bored, you can jump into PvP action. The biggest problem with PvP participation is that people are always sitting around waiting to PvP. People want to PvP. Sometimes they don't want to just do skirmishes or random battle rounds. They want something a little more challenging and a little more real and a little more rewarding. And a solo queue system would be perfect. Just think about it for 2 seconds. Can you think of a single, even remotely competitive PvP game on the market that doesn't have the ability to queue up by yourself and get matched with other teammates? League of Legends, Dota, Overwatch, CSGO, Heroes of the Storm. Even all of Blizzard's other games have a solo queue system. WoW is the only game with even remotely competitive PvP that doesn't have a solo queue system, and it is breaking the PvP community and participation rates. So the pros and cons. I actually don't see any cons. The only con would be that it would take Blizzard time to implement it, you know? They'd have to put man hours towards setting up the system. That's the only con I can think of. The pros would be no more waiting around in LFG for 3 hours and playing, like you sit in LFG, you find teammates after 20 minutes, okay? And then you find out one of them is clearly way below your level and you have to kick him and get somebody else because he lied about his achievements or he's just horribly bad, worse than you expected, right? Let's say you have a healer and he never uses Spirit Link or something, or a monk that never uses Cocoon and you just always die in the opener. Well, back to the drawing board, let's go back to LFG and wait around for 20 more minutes to find a new healer to test out. And a lot of people are just assholes. A lot of the time you get kicked from a group because they think you're the reason you're losing. Let's say there's a duo, like there's 2 friends that are looking for a third, right? Well, these 2 assholes are on their high horse. They're like 1800, 1900 experience, but they think that they're gods in their own mind. And so every time they lose a game, it's gotta be, it's not me and you, bro. It's that dickhead, you know, it's his fault. Let's kick him from the group and find somebody better, more on our level. They could be the problem, but they're gonna keep kicking you as an individual from the group because they're not smart enough to identify if you're good or not. So this is why a matchmaking system is needed, because humans are flawed, stupid pieces of shit. So I think a solo queue system would not only bolster PvP participation and enthusiasm because people aren't bored out of their minds, they always have something that they can be doing. I can log on at any time of day and queue up for solo queue ranked. There'd be more rewards, so people would want to do it, but the rewards for the solo queue system should not be as good as the rewards for the grouped, 3v3 system, the arenas that we've had and loved for what, 10, 11 years now. I think that should still be the primary, thing with the best rewards, all the rank 1 titles. The solo queue system could have lesser titles, but there needs to be motivation and rewards for people to play. I don't care if they add dinky little mounts, pets, tabards, I don't give a shit. Just add something to make people enthusiastic about playing it. And then more people will meet up in the solo ranked system and they'll say, hey, let's be friends and let's go play real 3v3 together. Boom. This eliminates the shitty part of LFG, gives you the ability to play while finding people. See, in LFG, you're sitting still doing nothing the whole time you're trying to find people to play with. But in a solo queue system, you'd at least not be bored out of your fucking mind because you're playing and playing and playing, and if you happen to stumble upon somebody that you want to add to friends list and try to do a real arena with, boom, there you go. So it's killing 2 birds with 1 stone, because fuck birds. So I can't really see any cons to this. I think it would be a great idea, and I think it would bolster PvP enthusiasm and participation big time. Plus there would be more media, like YouTube videos and shit like that go a long way with hyping up the PvP community. I watch YouTube videos all the time, and a lot of people are like, hey, can you upload some dueling videos? And I'm like, sorry, I can't really do dueling videos because everybody's got fucking whack crazy legendaries that 2-shot each other and they're not real, so I have no reason to make dueling guides or anything like that. This would open up that, part of the game, that aspect of PvP that used to be incredibly popular. People have been dueling since vanilla. Before there was arena, people have been dueling. So dueling with a spectator function ideally, so people who are bored and want to watch people fight and maybe pick up some tips or learn can sit there and spectate. If I'm eating, I like to watch something. If there's nothing good on Twitch or on YouTube to watch, I would love to sit around in the Coliseum and just watch people beat the shit out of each other, and I'm sure some of you would enjoy that too. So the dueling with spectator mode and a solo queue system, I think these 2 things would increase PvP participation big time and resuscitate the PvP that we know and love. So that's it. Sorry if this video was a little long-winded and you're probably tired of my voice by now, but I think that this is very important and I want to see PvP in WoW get better, not constantly dwindle and see participation get lower and lower with every season. So feel free to put your 2 cents in the comments. Maybe there's something I overlooked, but I don't think so because of that big thread we had a lot of people discussing and I think it's all covered. But still, feel free to put your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe and share it. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.